Hey everybody, welcome to Build the Kingdom, where we talk lifestyle, real estate, and business. Real stories to help you imitate success and avoid lessons. I hope you enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? Today we have Ryan Magin in the house, owner of Viral Edits, big time short form clip master here across social media, works with big names, responsible for Grant Cardone's content, has hit $100 million in views, or 100 million views on every platform across his videos. How we doing today, Ryan?
Pretty good, man. In Tulum, Mexico, beautiful water pool behind us, so it's hard to not be feeling good here.
Man, absolutely.
It is hot though.
Absolutely, dude. And it was it's been a pleasure, getting introduced to you and just watching you speak at Rich Summers' event here about 15 minutes ago, and staying right above you in the house. We were the first two in the house. Had a great conversation day one. So
it was like coming into like a Love Island villa. It's like, hey, what's up? What do you do?
Yeah, dude,
it was fun.
It's so funny because you show up to events like this. You know you're going to be in a house with 8 to 10 people. Yeah. You don't know when people are going to show up. You don't know what type of state they're going to be in from their travels. So it's always kind of the awkward, hey, what do you do, even if you notice.
Do you want to talk now, or do you want to wait a little bit?
Yeah, right.
Do you need to shower?
Right. That's a weird opening question. Ryan, hey, nice to meet you,
man. Do you
need
to shower?
Yeah, I probably should shower too. So, but yeah, dude, I greatly appreciate your time, you hopping in today. I really think this is an awesome topic because it's something I'm really pushing right now, which is the social media growth, obviously the podcast. Really working to say, hey, look, so many people out there look at social media in such a stereotype that's like, oh, you're a TikToker, and people oh, you're Ryan, the guy that dances. No, you're not, right? No. So people look at social media as this clout chasing, just something that has no context to it. You just want likes and you want to feel good, when there really is successful business that can be driven behind social media. So
absolutely.
I wanted to bring you in, drop some good free nuggets for the listeners, really talk to people about how short form content really can change the game, how just doing it and not making it look perfect of what you've talked about. I asked you the question today in the event, do you need to throw a good cover photo on every reel, and do you need to do the above and beyond? Of course, it's great to have a good aesthetic to your page, but also at the same time, as you've said, it's way more important to just get it out there. So would love to open it up to you, talk a little bit about just kind of some of the topics in your business and your journey there.
Yeah, so the elevator pitch is I'm an ex-pro BMX racer. I've been selling products and services and making money through the internet for over 10, 15 years now. I don't even know. I'm 42. I started when I was 23.
Okay.
I've done everything from low ticket courses to high ticket sales to eventually kind of fumbling around to I started a YouTube channel teaching men how to dress better to get laid. Had a decent amount of success doing that, but it was one of those things where I was I boxed myself into a niche, and I got engaged. I had a daughter, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this. I'm not this guy anymore. I'm not ashamed of any of that content. It's all still there for people to go watch.
Yep.
But I was like, I just can't keep doing this. So went into, I guess, agency life after that. And this is prior to COVID. It was kind of a weird time, at least for me. I had enough residuals from my, my fashion dating business that I was able to sustain for about a year. But that year brought me right into COVID times. And I took a big bet on TikTok when, I didn't think it was a big enough bet as I look back, I'm like, man, I really went all in on that. And it was one of those, it was a risk. When I started TikTok, it was early to mid COVID. Everything was still kind of shut down, and people were on TikTok dancing and doing all this, I think it's fun stuff, but I was like, that's not me. I'm not trying to do that. But I weighed the odds of do I go all in on YouTube? It's long form. Yes, there's importance to that. I'm a big believer in long form YouTube content. I do think I get a bad rap, because I'm all short form. But I was like, man, I can really make a mark, and I can do something different and take a little bit of a risk and hopefully be early to something. And there is a lot of things, there's a lot of benefit, obviously, in business and in life, and being early to things. There's spotting things maybe a little bit before mainstream catches on. And I saw TikTok as that opportunity, and I started really going hard on it in my bedroom. I had about an hour a day. I was basically a stay-at-home dad with my daughter, because my fiance, Kristen, she's a nurse. So during COVID, it was chaos for nurses. And so she would go to work and she would do her thing. Like, she was like a 9 to 6er. And I watched my daughter all day. And, most of the day we were hanging out. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Don't regret that one bit. I would take her to parks and stuff, even though, because I live in Florida.
Yeah.
We didn't really shut down.
Yeah.
But I had about an hour a day, and I was like, I really need someone here with this TikTok. So let me start making videos. And I started making one video a day. It's like kind of what I preach to everybody, the easiest way to get started. And like by day 30, I had like 50,000 followers. And I was like, this is incredible. Like I've never achieved this success this quickly. And then I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And obviously I kept going, but I was like, man, if I want to turn this into a business, I should, maybe I should start doing this for my friends. So I knew a lot of YouTubers because I was in that world. They weren't focused on TikTok, so they were able to give me the opportunity to start clipping their videos into TikToks. And I grew a couple of my friends' accounts to 100K followers really quickly, validated the principles. Money was non-existent back then on TikTok. It's still kind of hard to monetize TikTok, at least for the types of people I work with and myself. Works really well for like physical products, but most of my people are digital course sellers, services. But I still kept going with it. And, I was fortunate very early on I worked with Adley Kinsman. Grew her to 1 million followers really quickly, and that led me to, call it divine intervention, luck, be in the right place at the right time. But Jared from Grant Cardone's team reached out. Grant wanted to be an early adopter to TikTok as well, and there was nobody doing it. And so I doubled my prices, which were extraordinarily low at the time because nobody cared. But I started doing Grant's account for like $3,000 a month. With the guarantee, I'll get you 100,000 followers in 90 days. And we did it in like 25.
Wow.
Grant, and that was almost 3.5, 4 years ago. And we've been working with Grant and Elena ever since. But that, Grant, his obviously, recommendation, it was like an onslaught of clients really early on. And which was new to me as well. Like, it was like, I kept raising my prices to justify I was hiring team. So now my team, we've worked with, I'm blessed to say I worked with the people I've worked with. Like, at any given time, I manage about 20 influencers accounts. Okay. Currently, like on the roster is like Modern Wisdom Podcast, Chris Williamson. He's incredible. Vanessa Van Edwards. We just recently stopped working with Cody Sanchez. We worked with her for about a year. Jordan Michaela Peterson, Mr. Ballin, Flagrant Clips, Mark Gagnon, Aaron Marino, I am Alpha M. I've worked with probably about 100 clients over the course of the 4 years. The agency's, it's crazy to think it's made almost like $3.99 million to date. Now I deal with the problems of scaling and profits. Like, just for the audience, I don't have a bank account with $4 million in it. That's not how life works. It cost me a lot of money to generate that. And I also had to come into CEO business, Ryan, which I'm a creator at heart. Like, I just started making videos, and I've always made videos. So kind of adjusting to that has been, I would say, a challenge for me, because it's like I'm a very non-dependent type of person. Like, I don't like to rely on people to do things. And that's kind of arguably what got me to where I am. But at the same point, now I have a big team. I have a lot of responsibilities. My payroll is anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a month, depending on like how many people we're working with, how much I'm traveling, where we're going. But the one thing I've always been done my best, at least for me, to stick to was I hate that content now has become this thing that there's this huge barrier of entry for most people, when in reality it's as simple as taking out your phone and talking. And the cameras, the gear, the beautiful locations, like I know that personally I can get the same amount of views sitting in my living room as we could get here in Tulum, Mexico. Like, and I want more people to have that ability, because like it's a freeing ability to know that like I can drive my traffic and I can get my audience to wherever I want them to go and not rely on anybody. Because that's, a lot of, the world you live in, a lot of people run ads, a lot of people, they spend a lot of money to get that traffic. And I am a huge believer in viral organic content, which gets me painted in different ways on the internet at all times. But I've worked with so many people, all the biggest brands, and like, they are always striving for more attention. And there's nothing that gets you more attention than being able to get 1 million views on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at any given time. And that's why I love short form, because it's the barrier of entry is zero. It's your cell phone. And most everybody at this point has a cell phone.
Right.
It gets complicated. Like, even you asked the question, like, do cover photos matter? And it's like, Yes and no. Like, if you are extremely talented at making dope cover photos, then yeah, I would say highlight that on your page because that's your thing. I was just really, like, I'm just good at holding people's attention. And I think that if I was going to weigh skill sets, knowing how to do that's more valuable than a cover photo. But that doesn't negate the cover photo. Course, it's just, people, the nuances of like, what camera am I using? Where am I at? This, like, what kind of studio do we need to start this? It's like, no, we have a camera and a mic and we're talking and we're in Mexico. Cool, let's go film some content.
Right.
If it hits, cool. If it doesn't, we still had a great conversation.
And you do it again tomorrow.
And I'm going to wake up and make some more videos tomorrow.
Or tonight. I've got another podcast tonight. So it's just like, just get it recorded.
And I think that stops so many people. And it's frustrating to me because it shouldn't. Yes, you're dealing with big brands and large budgets, but social media is like about the little guy. It's about, like, you hear it all the time. Like, you have like the Charli D'Amelio that blew up on TikTok and she just danced and now she's got like a Netflix show. You have like Alex Cooper started a podcast during COVID about sex and now she's blown up into like one of the top revenue creators on Spotify. You have, tons, like Cody Sanchez essentially started from short form. You have, the Hermosis kind of blew up on short form. You have all the, like, Jordan and Michaela Peterson, the late Charlie Kirk, like, so much impact is made of just putting clips out. And I'm just a believer in, the authentic style of content, meaning, like, these are my opinions, these are my beliefs, I'm going to share them with you. You don't have to like them. But, if it gets views and I believe it's true, then I want to put that out there.
What would you say some topics, right? I know a lot of people want to focus just on their niche. I know a lot of people want to focus on, hey, what are some things I can just throw out there that, may get more listeners, right? Could it be something that might be controversial? What are some topics you think that are, you've seen a hit with, right? You have so many analytics under your belt that you probably know exactly the topic that I could throw this out there and I'm guaranteed between 1 to 10 million views, right? Again, views are important, right? That's an important thing. But if you look at it as, hey, think about it as a billboard, right? I know if I knew 10 million people would drive by this billboard, would you rather use that billboard and spend the money for that billboard? Or would you rather put it on the rural road where 50 people will drive by, right?
Yep.
So what are some of those topics that you think could get you a billboard on the highway?
Yeah, it's not so much it's thinking about things holistically from a perspective of like what has a good amount of reach. Like what are something that I talk about that's going to impact a lot of people. So these are usually like health, wealth, relationship, finance, or my personal favorite, societal observations. Like, what are some things that you observe in society that you're like, why is nobody talking about that? And everyone has these. And those are like, an example of societal observation was I made a video that got like almost 10 million views about wearing 5-inch shorts. I made a video, I was drinking some beers at the pool, and, I was like looking around, I'm like, man, all these dudes here would look better if they just wore shorter bathing suit shorts. Because it, in my opinion, has a better silhouette, makes you look more fit, more lean. And so I stepped away with my vodka sugar Red Bull in hand, took out my phone and spit a video out. I was like, it's absurd that so many men wear 9-inch shorts. Everyone looks so much better in 5, 6, or 7-inch shorts. And that video blew up. And then on another spectrum, it's like really the personal stories that, only you can share. Like, I unfortunately have been arrested twice. One time I got arrested, I had a white powder substance on me. And I happened to wake up in jail on Father's Day. I went out to celebrate with my best friend, Danny. We went out, and it turned into, like, a night. And, I did get arrested. And, arguably, I shared that video. I was so scared to put that video out there, but that video got 1 million views. And that video specifically was, you make a lot of videos, you get a lot of views, and you see a lot of hate comments, but you don't really see the impact you're making. And that video specifically, that same friend, Danny, his wife, Becca, her brother, or her sister's husband, came up to me. He's like, man, I knew you did stuff on social media, but, I saw that video where you talked about that, and, I see where you are now, and, I've had a lot of, legal history in the past, and I don't want to be that guy anymore, but hearing that story from you and, your trials and tribulations, like, it really inspired me that I know there's something better. And, like, that almost made me, like, tear up, because I was like, dude, this is, like, I changed it. I changed his life, and, it's up to him to go do with what he wants from that, inspiration. But, same thing with like, financial, wins, financial regrets. Like I had one video that went mega viral about my 2001 Ford F-150 Lightning. It was a performance truck. I heavily modified it. And this is before the electric version. And it was it was a supercharged truck. I put all this money into it. I was street racing it. Like, it was a really nice truck, but it was like $1,000 a month car payment. And I was working at Lowe's at the time, and I quit my job at Lowe's to pursue entrepreneurship. And that truck became a huge financial burden for me. And then it broke. And then my dad, love my dad. He took out a small personal loan to fix my truck so we could sell it, because I couldn't sell it broken. And then it broke again. So I had to use a credit card to put more money to fix it. And eventually I did get heavily upside down in the truck, and I couldn't sell it. So I was forced to turn the keys into the bank, voluntarily repossess. And the bank, in like some stroke of luck, it was a credit union, small credit union. They called me like a month later and they said, we can't sell it because of how modified it is. How long do you think it'll take you to sell it? Because I knew I could sell it and potentially break even or lose a lot less money than what I was about to lose. And I was like, can you give me 90 days? So they were able to give me a 90-day grace period, put that on the end of the loan. And thankfully, I happened to make a video about my truck, and I posted it on a forum, and I sold it for almost break even. And like, I shared that story, and I got so much hate for it. But people have told me, dude, like, I've had poor financial mistakes, and like, everyone makes mistakes. It's like the ability to put that out there. Like, another one was just doing things in the now that only you can experience, but you decide to document it. I documented a Category 5 hurricane, which arguably was insane to do. Like, two hurricanes that destroyed my house, put like 5 feet of water in. Hurricanes cost me a lot of money, a lot of mental frustration. Me and my family went through a lot during the last 2 years of that happening, and like, I was just angry at hurricanes. So another hurricane happened to be coming at us, and I was like, you know what, fuck hurricanes. And I decided to document the entire hurricane. I made a video every hour on the hour for almost 36 hours. And the bulk of that came in the 24 hours the hurricane was active. And I posted 102 times in 24 hours. And from that, I was called a psychopath, a narcissist, a terrible father, and like all these things. But I also got tons of comments saying, my family lives near there, they didn't evacuate, and I know where you are. If you're not experiencing, I can tell that they're going to be safe. And like, because there was no communication, and it was a terrible situation for everyone to be in. But I just took the risk, and I did it, and it worked out. And it was one of the best things I've ever done for my brand. I gained like 30,000 followers. I was on multiple news stations the next day. Like, there was a clip, Biden was addressing the hurricane on True News Nation, and they cut to me on my balcony like the next day, and I'm like in my big douchey sunglasses with a red Solo cup in hand, like. And it was cool, and I was on morning shows, and like, people still remember that to this day. But that wasn't, that was me. It was a trend, like, and I was in a position to document something that nobody else in the world could document. And yes, I could have sat in my apartment with my family, played chess and checkers, and like, because I bought all that to play with my daughter. But no, I involved her in my video, and I made it a thing, and it got us through one of the scariest situations ever. And I would do it again tomorrow in a heartbeat. And then even things like, it's the personal stories mixed with like problems that a lot of people have. Like, money is a huge problem in America right now. So whether you're winning or losing, talk about it. Like, because you're not alone. Like, and then, there's typical things like, cars. Cars do really well because everyone owns a car. Insurance, everyone has insurance. Like, everyone has a kid, or, a large portion of Americans have kids, multiple kids. They're in private school, they're in homeschool. Parents are trying to make decisions about things, and like, you obviously have an opinion. Like, if your kid's in private school, tell them why. If your kid's in public school, tell them why. If you're taking homeschool, tell them why. These things are like general topics that if you can combine a general topic with a strong opinion, I can almost guarantee you're going to get far more views than you're currently getting. And in my opinion, are those going to be direct revenue producing videos? No. But what those do, they are directly revenue producing when it comes to, they make people like you or love you, or like you or hate you. The people are going to buy from you, they got to like you.
Yep.
And they got to like all of you, not just the perfect podcast set, not just the financial wins. They got to like you for the loot. Who you are at your worst is an amplification of who you're going to be at your best. So it's like, I need to know how somebody is when everything's stacked against them. Like, if you document long enough, you're going to have wins and you're going to have losses. And I think people are pussies if they had the losses. And, if I'm thinking about investing money in a product or a person or a thing, I want to know that the person that created that thing, more about them to make that educated decision, especially if it's in the world where we come from, where it's like investment properties, it's large amounts of money being invested into ultimately one person. Like, if you teach Airbnb investing because that's the model that you chose to, and you have a track record of that working, you got to share the losses too. They got to know that you lose money at this game too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people shy away from that and only show the wins. And I think that's when you start hitting on those topics and again, it's like health, wealth, relationships, and finance, like marriage problems, marriage successes, like that just makes a person a person.
Yeah. And I think it builds a great story too for, again, what is the goal? Like, I know the goal for you is, hey, it's fun, it's content, it can drive more revenue for the business, but at the same time, I firmly believe everybody has a heart to help people. And it's like you said, how can I help somebody not get into that situation and get in trouble and go to jail on Father's Day?
Yeah.
For the same thing of, we just went through coming down here. Again, to some, this is a small loss. To others, this would be massive. We had a $2,000 weekend booking at our personal Airbnb. We just had a pool put in last year. The monsoon completely flooded our backyard, created a sinkhole. We had warrantied work that should have, been backfilled and they should have gotten over there just for everybody's liability's sake. That didn't happen, right? So then I started thinking, okay, what are all the options here? Do I go to insurance? Well, that's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. Our yard still won't be fixed, and I still won't know if we'll ever get the money. Should I fight for this warranty? Who knows how much that could cost?
Yeah.
Or should I say, let's call a guy that's worked on our yard before. He came over, $950 job, and we lost a $2,000 booking. So for some, it's like, oh, wow, you had a great booking, you have a great yard. Well, that yard just this week cost us $3,000.
That's great.
A 3 foot by 3 foot hole cost us $3,000.
Yeah.
So
that's a great video.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it can be tough to talk about, but other times it can be hey, somebody may see that. They may be going through an issue at their house, and they may just think, you know what, let me just bite the bullet, because if I try to fight for this warranted work, you may end up having 6, 8, 10 more reservations you have to cancel, or it could happen again if it's not done right. So, dude, I mean, with the with the journey, you've got a lot of experience with the social media. You've got a lot of experience with just day by days, right? I love to try and give people some free nuggets. I know today you talked about your funnel, talking about a hobby first, not being unrealistic, right? If you tell somebody, I have 17 private jets, and this is what you brought up today, and then you never show the jets, they're never going to believe you.
Yeah, they don't.
Are jets the story? No. The truth behind your what you're saying is the story.
Absolutely.
And so I'd love to have you maybe throw out 1, 3, 5, however many you're willing to give, just tips and tricks that people may be able to just today implement and start attacking, that you firmly believe could be small wins that will result in big wins for them on their social medias.
Yeah, I mean, there's the simple things like, I'm a believer in just getting at least one video out a day. So you got to build a system to get one video out a day. So whether that means that you got to pick one day a month and you film 30 videos, like, treat that as your job and get those 30 videos done. And that's, if you're working on a budget, that could be just you filming 30 videos on your cell phone. Film one in one location, then go another place, film another, go another place, film another, change your shirt, go another place. Like, treat it like a job, because it will pay off. And then there's like the nuances of, I think a lot of people would benefit from having somebody just post their videos for them. Because as creators and people, like when we see ourselves, we tend to judge ourselves more. And if you can remove that from you, from the process, just to get the content out, and then that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay attention to it. It just means that you should put it out and let it sit for 24 hours and let the data decide if that was a good or bad video. And what I mean by that is, like, you don't know if that video that you're scared to post isn't that 1 million view video that's going to drive 10,000 followers
and completely change
your life.
Yep.
And so, and that does cost. It could cost a little bit of money for some. Do not use automated posting services. We post 4,000 videos a month, all manually through human beings posting videos from America. And there's a lot of posting services out there that I know for a fact will harm your views if you use them. There's a few unicorn instances where it doesn't, but it's too big of a risk for a business owner to take. Just for a context, like I value posters pretty heavily, so it's like a part-time position. Like all you got to do is post one video a day, Monday through Sunday, and that you could get that. There's probably one of your friends that if you said, I'll pay you $500 a month to do this for me, would do it for you in a heartbeat, because they want to make an extra $500, and it's the easiest thing to do. Make sure you trust them because they have control of your account. But again, that's I think that's a small expense for a business owner to get that off their plate. You focus on making the content, and then somebody gets it out for you. And then if you can afford to have an editor at some point, I think that is helpful because it helps you get more out quicker. So you can just focus on the creation aspect. But I'm a big believer in just get 100 videos out as soon as possible. And then once you do 100, look at those 100 and really look at those 100 and go, which videos did horrible? Okay, let's not do those anymore. Which videos did okay? And then you go, oh, can I do those better? And then what videos did great? Because statistically, out of 100 videos, one will do significantly well. Like, even if you are horrible on camera, one will do good. And good could be 100K, good could be 500K, good could be 10 million. You don't know. But until you get that data and look at it, and then you look at that video, you're like, what did I do here that was right? And then you keep doing that and you keep getting better. And then don't get bogged down on like hashtags, trends, music, all that. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect anything. Don't stress on posting times. That shit does not matter. We posted videos at 4 a.m. We posted videos at 6 p.m., 10 p.m., across the board. If it's a good video, it will get shown. Like, so don't stress about that. Oh my God, it's past noon. I didn't get my video out. Post it when you can that day. Just get that video out every day. And then get in the habit of, like, a lot of people, they know what a gym is.
Yeah.
Like, don't have the expectation that you're going to be a Cody Sanchez or you're going to be a Casey Neistat on video one. Like, it took them thousands of videos to be what you see in front of you at that point. So that very eventually just gets started. And then, again, you have to treat content like a gym. Like, you're not going to bench 315 on day one. And if you can bench 315, you're not going to bench 500 on day one either. So there's always a process. And it's having that, and most people, have the habit of going to the gym and eating better. Like, I like a term like the content diet. Like, my diet is I make at least one video a day.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of my diet. I don't miss. I'm a disciplined person. I believe in this. And it's more the mindset of just forcing yourself to get it out. Because, like, let's say you have a team of editors and you're still, missing posts and this. Well, your job as a business owner and as the content creator is to get that video out. And it can be as simple as, this is why I drink black coffee every morning. This is why I drive a Toyota Camry. This is why I bought a Lamborghini Gallardo. This is why I'm choosing to strive to fly in private jets. Anybody can make those for any of their opinions, and it's like, those are the videos that they get the ball rolling, and you don't know where you'll be after 100 videos. Like, you could be an Alex Cooper after 100 podcasts. You don't know until you put those podcasts out there. I'm a big believer in short form. I think it's the easiest, lowest barrier of entry for anybody. Everyone's got a phone, so I think everyone should start on their phone. But it's more so just get better at being on camera, because we are acting in our own world. Like, and yes, that doesn't mean you have to be somebody or not, but everybody is interesting. And if you get good at highlighting what is interesting about yourself, you will achieve success on social media.
Of course, man. Yeah, I greatly appreciate that. I'm a firm believer in, be patient with the results, but aggressive with your steps, right? So, again, be patient. That it may take you, unfortunately, 500 trips in the gym, right, to lose the 20 pounds that somebody lost in a week. But guess what? Maybe they weren't transparent and they were taking some of these products out there that are helping people slim down in 5 days. So you just don't know with what you see on the internet if somebody isn't transparent.
It's true.
Which is why I'm a firm believer in don't try to match your results, because they're not showing you everything. And they may be taking the quick route, right, in the route that looks like it should happen for everybody, that 1 out of 1,000 people get. So, yeah, man. I greatly appreciate your time hopping in. I always love to throw or extend the just, hey, where can people find you? What's a good website? What's a good, again, restate business name, maybe your Instagram. Throw it out there so if people are looking to connect, they can come to you.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's where everyone lives for the most part. So my Instagram is my name, Ryan Magin. I'm active on Instagram. I answer DMs on Instagram. I don't read comments that much for mental health reasons, because I get a lot of angry ones. But yeah, I mean, and I was saying to my talk today, I was like, yeah, I'll find myself having like an hour-long conversation through audio text with like a random Filipino video editor. I'm like helping him get better. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, but it's like most of the people, they're also not as out of reach as you think. Like, I assure you, they look at their DMs. Like, and, so, I send people, if I can help somebody in some way, shoot me a DM. Watch my videos. There's a lot of them. They might piss you off. They might make you happy. But at the end of the day, that's just me. So.
And at the end of the day, it's people that will just continue to get on your page and check them all out.
Yep.
And they'll get hooked, and they'll be like, man,
Yeah.
half of these I hate, half of them I love, but they're still looking,
Yep.
right? And they're still watching. So obviously that's a big goal.
Yep.
Get people hooked into what you're doing, which builds trust, which then builds the network, which then builds, hey, potentially a financial gain.
Money's at the end of the tunnel for everybody. Even if you don't sell a single thing, the platforms pay you.
Yeah. That's awesome,
That's
man.
the truth.
Well, I appreciate the nuggets
having me.
today, dude.
Awesome.